I mean, misery? Yeah, it was misery. It was misery. That Conservative Party of Canada was pretty miserable, wasn't it? Okay, so, well, Maxime Bernier, man. He's on fire. He's on fire. Okay, I want you to pay attention. We're going to look at some Maxime Bernier tweets. Maxime Bernier Power Hour starting right now. Or Power 4 minutes? 5 minutes? We'll figure it out. So, let's pay attention to the numbers here. I know Twitter is not real life. Neither is YouTube, I hear. But it is indicative. It does show trends, and it does show numbers. And the internet, well, it's in everybody's pocket. Most Canadians, anyway. So I'm going to read through these tweets. Links are in the description. Everything I talk about. Well, let's see how this shakes out, man. Like Maxime Bernier, on the other day, he announced that he was walking away from the Conservative Party and would run as an independent in the 2019 election. And immediately following that announcement, he said, well, yeah, I'm actually going to create a new party. And I'm not going to open up that can of worms again because he clearly said it. You can check my other videos, links in the description. And everybody said, Max, you're going to split the party. You're going to split the party, you foolish guy. You're going to split it. And everybody's been yelling at me too. Going to split the party. You're going to split the party, guy. It's not going to work. We're going to be in reform hell for 20 years. Maybe. But I'm gonna put this really quick before I get into Bernier's stuff. If Andrew Scheer gets into office and enshrines Justin Trudeau's bad policies as law, it's going to be a lot harder to undo. And based on the convention and the shenanigans that happened with the milk cartel, the dairy farmers of Canada, and them buying access to Scheer. And I mean, like, that's not, well, maybe that's a whole other video. We're going to talk about Bernier. So Scheer's got some really, really big questions he's got to answer. But Max addresses the splitting the party. So here we go. Let's talk about what Max says. 1 of 5. I understand the concern many of you have about vote splitting. Until 2 weeks ago, my plan was to run as a Conservative in 2019, but there comes a time when one has to take a stand. Not as bad as Trudeau is not good enough. I simply don't believe the CPC can be reformed and stand for real Conservative values and policies. Either it will be defeated next year, or if it wins, there will not be substantial change in the way Canada is governed. So what can we do? We can rally behind a weak leader and indefinitely postpone asking the hard questions because there never is a good time to risk disunity. This means that there will never be a real Conservative option. Or we can stand for the principles we believe in and work hard as we can to make them win. There's no other way to get there, even if it creates disunity and tension in the short term. Those who say we should settle for not as bad as Trudeau because it's not the right time are the ones creating disunity. They're the ones preventing our movement from growing and winning. It's time we break this deadlock. Okay, well, I agree with Maxime, and I think I'll do a whole other video on Scheer's CPC and what happened at the convention, post-convention, and all that stuff, because it's a huge story all by itself. But I want to talk about Maxime Bernier right now because this is a big story. This is the biggest story in Canada right now, I think, because this party doesn't exist yet, and I said, pay attention to these numbers. So that's pretty good. August 25th, that's not too bad. Okay, we're going to move on to the next Maxime tweet. What was I saying again yesterday about cartels putting politicians in their pockets? Their tactics, quote, have sure succeeded very well so far. This is why they were partying in Halifax the other night. And I spent thousands of dollars to get to CPC 18, and it turns out there was a coordinated effort between Big Dairy and Andrew Scheer to betray members and our right to be heard. The outcome was predetermined. And I'll stop it there. The link to the tweet will be in the description below. But this is the handbook that was handed out. And you guys can see that down there. The link will be in the description, like I said. But yeah, man, the dairy farmers had a contingency plan, and they've got Andrew Scheer in their pocket. They weren't planning on voting for supply management. And by extension, this isn't a big deal because of protectionist dairy farmers. This is a big deal because Trump is demanding we drop this tariff. And That's our biggest, closest trading partner and has been for the long time. And regardless of whether you like him or not, he controls the United States economy. And if the United States economy closes to Canada for whatever reason, stupidity or it doesn't matter, that's really, really bad for Canada. That's not a win. It doesn't matter what the media says. And Trudeau's stance on this, the fact that Mexico has already negotiated NAFTA, that's not good. You want to be first. You don't want to be second. That's really, like in business, you want to be first, man. You want to be the first mover. And Trudeau abdicated that on Canada's behalf. That's insanity. That doesn't make sense. So Scheer being paid off by these people to continue a trade war jeopardizes 20% of our economic prosperity. 20%, that's not small. This is a piece. Oh, hold on. We didn't look at the numbers. So, okay, August 26th, 431, right? War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. Diversity is our strength. Diversity is a product of our strength, and our strength is freedom. George Orwell. Now, I don't know if you've all read 1984. If you haven't read 1984, my goodness, what a wonderful book. Please do go read it. Make sure you pour yourself a glass of gin. But the point is, like, this is the liberal slogan that they're trying to, that the CBC is, the CFL is pushing, and Justin Trudeau is pushing. And diversity is clearly not our strength. Diversity destabilizes stable nations. Diversity is bad for Canada. Right now, diversity is not our strength. Not the way we're doing it, because it's bankrupting us, and it makes no sense. So, and the fact that Scheer said this, I mean, just how out of touch can you be to say, like, oh yeah, hey, what's Trudeau's slogan? All right, let's take that. I want something about strength in there, though, but stronger than diversity. We gotta take a walk with it. Like, what the fuck, man? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, it makes no. Hold on, let me put this in context. It makes about as much sense as Hillary Clinton using "Love Trump's hate" as her campaign slogan. You don't use your opponent's name in your campaign slogan, and you don't walk over to the Liberals, who you're trying to beat, not trying to charm, and use their slogan. What, do you think the press is going to high-five you, man? Oh. So, I mean, good job, Maxime Bernier. I love the sarcasm. Sorry, I just went off there, and I'm going to leave it in because, Jesus, it just doesn't make any sense. This was me looking for something, so I'll take that out. This was a poll that was released earlier today, and this is Maxime reacting to it, and I thought it was hilarious. So this poll is fantastic news. Only hours after I announced my intention to launch a new party, 13% of Canadians would vote for it. 11% in Ontario, 15% in Quebec, in second place behind the Libs, and 17% in Saskatchewan and Manitoba, 18% in Alberta. So when you... And there's the poll. So this is what today's poll looked like. And you see on the bottom there is Maxime at 13%. And I'll show you, this is the tweet. Link will be in the description. We interviewed 1,000 Canadians. So 1,000 is not a huge poll, but I mean, that's a lot. It's not a huge poll, but the fact that 13%, that's not a bad showing for a party that doesn't exist. Like, really. It's been, this happened Friday. And I mean, I haven't heard about this on CBC News. Maxime Bernier has, there's been a little bit of coverage, I suppose, but it's the fact that he's polling that well. Wow, impressive. Sorry, back to Max's reaction. Fantastic news. Yeah, I mean, really, there's no other way to look at that. That's fantastic. That's unbelievable. In fact, pulling from everybody. Wow. Max says, half of potential voters for my new party are current Conservative supporters, and the other half are supporters of other parties. All Canadians want a fresh new alternative to vote for, including all those disillusioned by politics who have stopped voting. All right. Yeah, I think that's true. I think if what was on offer was the current CPC and the current LPC and the current NDP, I would be seriously considering running a party of my own, because that's doesn't represent Canada's best interests. They're running to socialism at a rate that is concerning, to the point of, like, there must be some other force pushing them that way. Like, voters aren't clamoring. Voters soundly rejected in Ontario the run to the left, and yet the federal Liberals continue to push this immigration, which is very, very unpopular. It doesn't make any sense. And having Scheer come out and basically say that he was agreeing with Trudeau's trade war and that we were going to continue going down that path and staying very, very tentative on what he's going to do about illegal border crossers. I haven't heard hide nor hair about what he's going to do about them to fix that problem. And that should be, you got to be hitting Trudeau on that. That's huge. People are frustrated. This is not what Canada signed up for. The immigration policy of open borders is not what Trudeau campaigned on and not what people signed up for. And the idea that the UN sets our border policy is out and out ridiculous. It's our country. It's not the United Nations country. We have the final say. All right. Andrew Scheer. Sorry. Here's the same day, August 25th. I wanted to, like, this, he's doing his convention, man. Like, this should be a very popular tweet for the leader of the Conservative Party. And fallen flat. Max had more. Same day. About an hour later. So, a totally biased, absolutely slanted review of Maxime Bernier and the first 3 days of the yet to be named Canadian Party. Godspeed, Max. I think there are a lot of hurdles, and I know that the way's not lined with roses and an easy path to go through, but I think it's worth it. I think it's the only way that Canada is going to stay even close to the Canada that I remember growing up in. So thank you for everything.